Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my Flipping for Fortunes video and we're on episode 6. In this episode I show off some slower but more consistent flips that I've been doing over the last month or two. I just want to make a disclaimer before we get started. We're picking up on this video at 226 mil. That's what we ended last episode with. The only issue is this episode is going to take a long time to make. I'm doing a lot of other things on this account at the same time as doing flipping, so I only do a couple of flips a day whenever I get to the GE. Because of this, it will probably be flips over the next 1 or 2 months. Showing off these flips means the prices of items may change dramatically. Even though the prices change, the items will still probably be pretty good. So for example, Ascension crossbows right now are really high, but by the time this video comes out, I'm expecting them to probably have crashed by then, like all items will, because everything's going right up right now. They always hit a peak and then stumble back down. So even though the prices will change and you won't be able to flip them for the exact amounts I do, you'll probably still be able to get similar margins even though the prices are a bit different. Always check your margins or fill the market out. Try and buy them 5% under mid and keep increasing it slowly until they buy. Then try and sell it a bit over mid and slowly decrease it until it sells, and then you'll be able to get your margins and work from there. Obviously on bulk flip items like the Addy items, you can just buy one, sell one and then find your margins instantly. But for Ascensions you would have to slowly buy and then slowly sell and see how it goes. But yeah, that's the disclaimer gone, so don't expect the prices to be exactly the same, and sometimes I take advantage of hype and stuff, and when items are going really high in price, I'll try and buy them and then I'll be able to sell them easier. So obviously not everything I do in these flipping series videos can be exactly done by someone else, because sometimes it is just being in the right place at the right time. You really have to feel out the market for yourself to see when is a good time to do these items. But that's why I like showing off Ascensions and Drygores and stuff so much, because there's never a bad time to do those. But that's enough of me ranting. Let's get into this video and let's show off some of the flips I've done over the last month or two. I managed to buy loads of different Addy items over the last day, slowly but surely. Some of them I bought all 3,000, others I couldn't quite buy enough because the prices changed a bit and they went up. But all that means is on those Addy battle axes, because they're going up, those 1,970 I bought will make me more than if I bought 3,000 at a higher price. So I'm probably going to be making similar money because they are on the rise and I can sell them for premium. So now it's time to go sell them all and see how much money I can make. Man, look at all those Addy items that have sold. So 3,000 claws, 3,000 two-handers, 3,000 pickaxes, spears, some swords and some battle axes. Feels good. If we check all of these and we compare it to what we just saw that we bought them at, I've made a good amount of money. I've made between 200 to 400 GP each item I've flipped. This is really awesome because even if you make like 150 GP, which is like the bare minimum you're going to get, that's 150k for 1k in 4 hours. Because you can easily bulk buy like 3,000 of each item like I did, even if I was making 200 per item, that's 600k that I've made in one day just by leaving an offer in the GE. Do this for loads of different items like I did, and there you go. There's like 4 mil or something stupid that you've made in no time at all. Right, so I bought a lot of Addy items that I'm going to flip for probably like between 200 and 500 GP margins each, so I should be able to make like 5 mil plus from all these Addy items I bought. What I do once I buy all of these Addy items is I just insta buy one of every single one that I've bought. Then when I look at my sales history, this is how much they are selling for right now, which means I sell for just a tiny bit underneath each of these things, and that will give me exactly how much the slow sell price should be, and I can slow sell all of the items over time and make, like I said, 200 to 500 GP an item. I waited a little while and as you can see it all sold, and it sold for pretty much what I said. Some you have to lower here and there, but mostly you just leave it in there and it will sell. People use these for invention parts and it's very consistent, so it's very easy to flip these. Bulk Addy items are great. That's about 5 mil profit right there. Spirit shields unfortunately aren't quite as good nowadays. They take ages to sell and you only make like 300k a shield or something. They're still okay but not super worth it. Secundus keys have a very strange margin right now. I bought one for 326k and sold it for 354. If I could buy and sell 100 of those, I'm going to make a lot of money, so I'm going to give them a test. So I bought 17 of these keystones for 326.5k each. I then tried to sell them at that price of 354k each, and they insta-sold for way above that. They sold for 383k each, so I made nearly 60k per key. That's over a mil in 17 keys flipped. That's crazy. I'm buying my Sextus keys at 246k and selling them at 278k, so that's 32k per key. So if I flip 100 of those, that's 3.2 mil. And then like I make 25k or so on the Primus ones, so that's 2.5 mil for 100. And then the Secundus makes me like 25k as well. So then that's another 2.5 mil every 100. And they buy and sell fairly quick. They take longer to buy than sell, obviously, but it's really good. I made 700k on our Ascension crossbow. Managed to sell the Primus keystones, made about 20k a piece. That was really nice. I also managed to buy a main hand crossbow and an offhand crossbow, which I can then sell on and make some more money with those. Man, I just sold an Ascension crossbow again and made 700k like nearly instantly when I put it in. Easy money. There we go, made 400k on the offhand and 700k on the main hand again. And then I made 20k per key of the Sextus. So making really good money right here. That's like 2 mil. Been flipping quite a few Ascension crossbows. The offhands and the main hands both have margins between like 400 to 700k depending on the time of day. Obviously, because I have a fairly big cash stack now as well, I can be buying like 2 main hands and an offhand all at the same time and then flip them all at the same time. It just leads to being even more uptime and even more profit. Oh, I managed to slow buy 100 Primus keys for 485 mil, make 21k per key and flip 100 very quickly. So I made over 2 mil with that flip. Yes, please. Man, I bought some Ascension crossbows overnight for 89.8 mil each, and I sold them for 90.3, so that's like 500k flip each. That's a mil. I like that. I've been doing comp requirements and tasks and things, and between all of that, I always just put in offers to buy Ascension crossbows and stuff like that, and I'm making loads of money very quickly. There's another mil flip from 2 Ascension crossbows, and I'm doing this pretty much every 4 hours, so I'm making a lot of money. You know how I said I can flip multiple crossbows at the same time now? That's exactly what I've been doing with my larger cash stack. And as you can see, every time I do it, I'm making like 400, 500k a crossbow, which then adds to being like a mil flip every single time. Sometimes it's a little bit less, but most of the time it's anywhere between 700k to a mil, and that's really nice every 4 hours. I've been doing a lot of other stuff for videos and things, and I've been doing so many other series that I kind of just leave it in the GE for a couple of hours and then come back and check. And stuff like this being left in the GE and then coming back to flip really easily, it's just perfect. Managed to flip a Nockstar for over 800k, and then I also flipped a Noxious Longbow for over a mil. So that was nearly 2 mil in just those 2 items. Pretty good there. These new pets came on Treasure Hunter, and whenever a new item on a Treasure Hunter is released, it's always really crazy at the start where people are insta-buying or insta-selling the ones they get because they either want the pet or they want some money. So I was able to flip these gorillas and Grax pretty well. I bought like 25 gorilla tokens for about 1.2 mil each and managed to sell them for about 1.5 mil each. So in those 25, I made like 10 mil. And then with the Grax, I was making about 400k each as well. And I also managed to buy 20 of those, so I made about 8 mil with the Grax. I did all of this in the space of about 15 minutes, and then they started crashing hard. Everything was closing up, all the margins were messing up, and everything was so difficult to buy. It then just wasn't worth it at all. So I stopped and cashed out with my like 20 mil profit and was happy with that. No point in risking it further. I got a sweet flip just now on the Ancient Scales. I bought them at 211k each, and they sold for 260, so I made like 49k a flip. And I flipped 109 and I made like 5 mil. So I bought 50 Scrimshaws of Sacrifice. They cost me 16.35 mil. I sold 2 at 362k each, and then the rest at 357k. And I managed to make about 1.6 mil on those 50. That's pretty good. Managed to flip some Addy Square Shields, made 500k on those 5,000, so I made 100k per 1k. Not the biggest margin, but it's still extra money that I can make. And then I've done some Addy Claws as well, though had a much better margin. I done 1.6 mil in that flip for 5,000 of those. as they had a 300 GP margin on those. I also just bought some ancient scales. I'm going to see how well I can flip these and how much money I can make on these ones. I just made 450 GP margins on Addy two-hander swords as well, so I made another 450k on that. I bought the ancient scales. I bought 600 of them at 221k each. It cost me 133 mil. And I sold 600 of them for 274k each, and I got 164.5 mil. So I made 31.5 mil in those ancient scales. Took me about a day to buy them all, and then they sold pretty quick, to be honest. So I made that's 31.5 mil in just over a day AFK, just letting them buy over time. It's really nice. These ancient scales are definitely so good for money. Look at that. I made 8.5 mil on 199 scales. That's 42k profit per scale. It takes a little while to sell and buy them, but when you buy and sell them with this high of a margin, it's insane. Carrying that flip on with 200 more, as that is the buy limit, I spent 260k each and got 319k each. This is a 59k profit, which means I made nearly 12 mil in these 200 scales. Doing some more Addy items, making a little bit of money, and then also doing some more scales. The margins have closed up quite heavily on the scales, but I flipped 600 and managed to make about 8 mil. That's still really, really awesome. Still tons of money, still worth it. Also made over 200 GP each on those Addy pickaxes, and I'm selling the rest now. As you can see, I bought 10 elemental battle staves for 2.1 mil each. Buying them at 2.1 mil each made them a tiny bit over mid each. I'm currently selling them, and I've sold 8 of them so far, and I've already made my money back and 900k more. I've still got 2 more to sell, and I should get 27.5 mil. That's a lot of profit over time just doing some elemental battle staves. They're pretty damn good. Ending this video off with 379 mil. We made over 150 mil in this episode, which is pretty damn good, especially some of those flips being so high. I took advantage of ancient scales. They increased the buy limit at one point, and then everyone was buying them to make their armor. This meant whenever someone got them as a drop, they'd instantly sell it, and then people were insta buying them every 4 hours to try and make their armor. I took advantage of that and managed to make very, very good margins. Like I said at the start of this video, being in the right place at the right time is very key when it comes to flipping. So me flipping those ancient scales nowadays would probably be like 10k margins, but I was able to get up to 60k margins because it was that hype of the buy limit being increased and things like that. So always take a look at what they're doing, what they're buffing, what they're nerfing, to see if there's anything that you could probably invest in or look to flip quickly with the hype and everything like that. Either way, we are going pretty well towards our 1 bill goal, and that will be it for this episode, and until next time, see ya.